Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly from Last War here, and I just want to say thank you all so much for your support. We just broke 250 subscribers on the channel, and for that, I thank you guys all so much. Seriously, it means the world to me, and I'm glad that you guys are obtaining some information from my videos and that this is helping you. And your comments, your feedback has been really nice to read. Without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Today's video is everything about heroes, or everything related to heroes at least. Now, we'll do a quick introduction to heroes. If you're not sure what they are these little characters that you earn, and this is how you kill monsters, you kill other players, you earn them early game through unlocking your base, and also you can earn them by going to your hero recruit tab, recruiting them. And these are the possibilities of heroes that you can earn: SSR, blue, which is SR, and UR, which is orange. Now, mine looks a little bit different than yours probably will if you're early game. In fact, if you're early game, only Murphy will be able to be unlocked from your hero recruit tab. Now, later on in the game, like where I'm at, you do get most of the other heroes, not all, for at least a long time. So unfortunately, if you're not buying the heroes, it's going to be quite a while before you're able to get them all unlocked for free. Now, that's the basic rundown of what heroes are. And so now we're going to talk about the different rarities of heroes. I know I just touched on it in the hero recruit tab. However, there is a difference. You got UR, SSR, and SR. Now, clearly UR is the best, and you want to have nothing but UR in your squad. But if you don't have all your UR heroes, you want to fill them out with SSR heroes. Kind of like what I have going on with my squad 3, where I don't have enough UR heroes to fill it out, so I have Violet and Mason there. SR is just not good. SSR, they have specific buffs that help them fight monsters and kill monsters better, and UR has everything and then some. Now, before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to explain one thing. Mason, Violet, Scarlet, Sarah, and I can't remember the fifth one, all become UR way later on in the game. Mason becomes a UR hero season 1, Violet season 2, Scarlet season 3, Sarah season 4, and then the fifth one I can't remember in season 5. Now, gold is the best because not only does it give you the same buffs as purple does for monsters, but it gives you a better buff for monsters and a better buff across the board for literally everything else. The base attack on a gold hero such as Stepman is 47,500 versus for Mason it's 42,500. So now to break something else down really quickly, something that we need to really touch on is this screen here. Now, if you're a new player or even kind of an experienced player that hasn't really looked at this, you've never really seen this before. Now, if you read here, it says boost hero HP, attack, and defense by 20% respectively in battle, but you have to deploy 5 heroes of the same troop type. Now, what this means is that you should probably have 5 aircraft, 5 tank, and 5 missile. And if you're curious to know how you can see what is what, I mean, despite the fact that it's quite literally a helicopter, if you look in the top right, there's going to be a little aircraft symbol, and if you click on it, it says hero troop type aircraft. Now, the same thing happens with everybody else, such as Williams. He's a tank, and if you click on his little thing in the top right, it tells you that he's a tank. The same thing goes with Swift. If you click on it, it says hero troop type missile vehicle. Back to this screen, if you have 5 of the same type, your entire squad gets 20%. And I learned today that if you have 4 of the same type, your entire squad, including that one that's not the same type, also gets 15% buff. So if you're running, I don't know, 4 aircraft and 1 tank, you're still going to get that 15% buff on your tank hero. And obviously all of your aircraft heroes are going to get it as well. You can go all the way down to just 3 of one type. So 3 aircraft, 1 missile, 1 tank, you'll still get a 5% buff across your squad. And if you have 3 of one type and 2 of another, so 3 aircraft, 2 tank, you'll get 10% across the entire squad. I'm going to go over this screen right here too. Troop type counter. Tanks receive minus 20% damage, so 20% less damage from missile vehicles, meaning that tanks have a 20% overall buff against missile. Missile vehicles receive 20% less damage from aircraft, so therefore meaning that missile vehicles are 20% stronger than aircraft, and aircraft are 20% stronger than tanks. So this means if you have 5 aircraft going up against 5 missile, you're probably going to lose because that 5 missile is going to just overrun you with that 20% buff. Now, unless there's a huge difference between power between the missile and the air, then that's a different story. But if they're relatively close in power, or the aircraft is even stronger by a couple million, chances are that that missile squad might actually win the battle. And the same thing goes with if you're full aircraft versus full tank, or if you're full tank versus full missile. This is very important to remember, because you're going to be asking yourself often, well, why did I lose this battle? Why did I lose this? And it is because this 20% buff, along with everything else that adds up, this is going to help you win every battle. So if you're going up against an opponent that has a full tank squad and you know that your full aircraft squad can beat him, it's probably best to do your full aircraft squad versus him. And obviously same thing goes with everything else that I just went over. This is what we like to call the hero rock paper scissors. Now there's quite a few ways to upgrade your heroes, and we're going to go in depth over all of them. The first one being XP. Now you can level up a hero using XP and it gets exponentially higher and higher and higher as you level up. So for example, to get from level 140 to level 141 might be 140 million, but the first 100 levels are like 40 million. EXP is the simplest and easiest way to upgrade your heroes. You do cap out at 150 once your HQ level 30. And once they upgrade to level 35 HQ, which is in a few seasons, then you will be able to go up to level 175. Now the second way you can upgrade hero is this gear right here, which I already went over in a video right up above. If you click on that, it shows you how to level your gear and how to do all of that. The third way to upgrade your heroes is something we're going to touch on it a little bit, and it's skills. All of these different skills do different things for your hero and they make it better. And the final thing that we're going to touch on right now is how to tier up your heroes. Now, if you'll notice, you might not have 5 stars on a hero. You might only have 4. You might only have 3. Now, in this specific instance, Kimberly has 5 stars. I'll go down here to Stepman, who's only at 3 stars for me. And if you'll see, it wants me to use these shards down here to upgrade him. Now, you can either use Universal, which are going to be easier to obtain, or your Stepman shards, which are going to be quite a bit harder to obtain. Now, in order to upgrade your hero, you just click Promote here, and it would add 1/5 of a star, and you do that 5 times, and it unlocks the full star. I've learned over my time of playing that it takes 975 total shards to get from 0 stars to 5 stars, with the 5th star being 500 total, so being a little over half of the equation. Now you may be asking yourself, well, I need shards, but I don't have many. How can I get some? That's kind of where this game is funny, is because you can earn shards literally through anything and everything. For example, once you unlock trucks in your server, you're going to be able to get shards through your trucks. Now, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get shards with your trucks, so you do have to keep refreshing them and re-rolling them in hopes that you're actually going to get the shards. I got quite a bit of luck, so I was able to get 3 shards on this one truck, and I was able to get 2 shards in a purple gear chest on my other one. I do recommend trying to refresh these until you have nothing but UR. It is the best. If you don't have the diamonds or the gems to spend on it, that's completely fine and understandable, and I wouldn't be mad at you for sending out an SSR truck, a purple truck, or so on and so forth. But this is going to be the main way that you're earning shards daily, and if you do this properly, you can earn anywhere between 10 and 12 shards a day. Now, not only can you earn shards from rolling out your trucks, but you can also earn shards from attacking other people's trucks. Now, again, you have to have trucks unlocked on your server in order for this to work, but if you find a truck like this one, for example, that has a shard, and if you click plunder, you have a chance at actually getting that shard off that truck. However, my rule of thumb when attacking trucks is that it has to have at least 2 shards for me to want to do anything. So like this one, I'll go ahead and I'll plunder this. There you go, mission complete. I didn't even get the shards. I got everything but the shards, so I'm going to go back through and hope that I get these 2 shards. This isn't what you're supposed to do. I got one of them. I never attack the same truck twice unless it has a lot of the same thing or a lot of something that you want. I just got unlucky and was trying to give you guys a better example. So those are the 2 ways truck related that you can get shards, either sending out your own or attacking another. Quick tip for sending out your own trucks, if you're curious, if you wait to send out your trucks until a few hours, maybe 10 hours after reset, they're going to have a lot more likelihood to come back home untouched. If you send them out right at reset when everybody's looking for them, then obviously odds are that you're not going to be able to have that truck come back untouched. Now, technically, through train, you can earn shards as well. That's typically once a day, and if you have to get lucky on the reset there as well, it is typically anywhere between 1 and 4 shards that you can earn on the train. Those are everything related to trucks and trains that you can earn shards for, and every little event you can earn shards through. So if you do your arms race daily and you click on this chest here and you click on this orange chest right here at the end, you'll see that you get 200 diamonds, 6 hero recruitment tickets, and 2 UR hero universal shards. So every day you can earn another 2 as long as you just hit these 3 boxes during 3 different times throughout the arms race. Like, for example, while we're doing this in the background, I have a couple of rallies running to use stamina so I can get to my 30,000 so I can unlock this chest number 3. And you just have to do this 3 times to get that 18 point mark. So if you do it during drone boost, which is pretty much just using stamina, if you use it during your hero advancement, if you use it during your base building, if you just unlock this third chest 3 different times of the 6 times it is applicable, then you will be able to get 2 universal UR shards every day. Now, not only that, but if you also happen to win your arms race, you do get another UR hero universal shard, a deco chest, and a bunch of resources. Now, I could probably win mine today if I really tried. I just haven't put in a lot of time or effort, and I woke up not too long ago. Now, when I said events, I meant everything possible that you can think of. You can technically earn shards through every store possible. Campaign, you can buy shards here. Honor, you can buy shards here. Don't do that though. Remember, always only buy the gear blueprints from the Honor store. You get some from the Alliance store. If you go all the way to the bottom of the VIP store, you can buy some. And even with the SSR as well, and the SR. So as long as you have diamonds or you have any of the currency needed required, you can technically buy some every week through those stores. Doing things like Code Boss, I've already unlocked a lot of these, but once you reach different milestones of damage, you get more shards just for beating the Code Boss or hitting it a couple of times. So my next one, once I break 1 billion damage on Code Boss 64, I'll get 20 shards. All sorts of different hot deals, such as total mobilization if you want to buy it, if you want to spend the money. This is how you can get shards through spending money. Once you have heroes up to different shards, at least for season 1, you get these different little things week in and week out where you can get, if you have them up to 4 stars each, you can claim more shards here. Every event, such as Warzone Duel, even Alliance VS, every day when you unlock these chests, you get UR Universal Shards. You also get some SSR as well. Now, other ways that you can earn shards is you can technically earn them by doing different secret tasks, and also when you get the hidden treasures unlocked on your server, which I think is like day 20 something, every time that you dig up one of these, you'll have a chance to earn Marshall or Murphy shards. Now, right now I have Hero Choice chests, and eventually it will become Hero Choice chests, which makes your life even easier. Now, when it comes to it, your lineup does actually matter. So obviously you want to have defenders in the front. Your best defender should always be in this spot right here, and your second best defender should always be here. Your best attacker should always be in the back middle, except for one specific example, which I'll say later. Your second best attacker should always be in this back left spot, so right here where DVA is for me. And then obviously your worst attacker or your support should always be in this back right spot here. Now, the only example I said that it does make a difference is here on a tank squad, best defender, second best defender. Your best attacker should be on the back right, actually, and I learned that Marshall should be in your middle spot right here, with your second best attacker being here, which would be Stetman. I don't have Stetman 5 stars, so for me, I have Swift here right now. Now, the reason for that being is that Marshall has a specific skill of his that makes your squad and your best defender so much better, which, again, we'll go over very, very shortly. For now, the main idea for you should be best defender here, second best defender obviously in that last defensive spot. Your best attacker should always be in the back middle. Your second best attacker should be on the back left, and your third best attacker should be in the back right or support. That's the general idea. So as I was saying, I was talking about hero special abilities or hero skills. Now, when it comes to most hero skills, what you're going to want to do for defending heroes is you're going to want to upgrade the top right and you're going to want to upgrade the bottom left. Now, the bottom left is a passive ability that everybody gets, whether it's attack or defense, but specifically for defense, what it's going to do is it's going to boost your ability to take more damage. So you're going to take 38% less damage just by getting it up to 4 stars and upgrading it to level 25. Well, I do agree that having more attack is great on your defenders. Focusing on the auto attack isn't necessarily something that's important, at least in my eyes. And as you'll see, I'll go through all of my defenders really quickly and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I only have level 10 on Lucius, but I have level 25 on his tactics and his passive because of the extra defense it gains. And in particular, his tactic is phenomenal. Now, tactics are kind of like a support thing. They don't only affect that specific hero most of the time, but they affect the entire squad. So Lucius, for example, boosts all allies' energy damage reduction by 18.25%. So obviously putting more and more into this helps your entire squad, not just the individual. And going back to Carly, the exact same thing. Attack all enemies dealing physical damage equal to 171.16%. Attack and reduce the target's energy damage by 14.25. So essentially what this does is she attacks the entire opposite squad. And what happens is all of them do less damage, therefore helping your entire squad. In her instance, it's called a debuff. Whereas in Lucius, it's called energy protection. I'll give you one more example of a defender really quickly and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So again, physical damage, I only have it at the level 10. He's on out of my main squad, so I don't have his skills completely maxed out. But if you look at his top right, it's a buff. After casting the skill, boosts the defense of the front 2 units by 45%. Of course, we want to level that up because, again, it helps more than just one individual hero. And then if we look at his passive, reduce all damage taken in battle by 25.5%. So typically with your defensive heroes, you're going to want to upgrade the top right and the bottom left pretty evenly. I do it in groups of 5, but you can do it in groups of 10. Next up is your attackers. Now when it comes to attack, honestly, it's a bit trickier because you could do the passive, because the passive does help, boosts his hero's attack by 35.5%. But the reason I focus on the top left is typically because the amount of buff or the amount of damage that it does in one particular instance helps tremendously. Fire a missile at the enemy, dealing energy damage equal to 257.52% of the attack. So she does one attack and it does a boatload of damage. And if you notice, the cooldown is only 1 second. Now, the reason that's important is because that means every second that she's alive, she does this every single second. Now, granted, yes, the passive does do that all the time. There is no second cooldown. However, with other buffs that you're receiving from your squad, from your decorations, from everything across the board, this is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And I do find this to be more important than the passive, the auto attack. And then obviously when it comes to tactics, kind of the same thing with the defense. This is just a huge buff in one particular instance. So in hers, prioritize attacking one back row unit, dealing energy damage equal to 771.32% of the attack, with a 20% chance to stun the target for 2 seconds. Now what this means is that not only is she doing something, she's doing a ton of damage to one of the heroes in the opposite person's back row, but she also has a 20% chance to stun them entirely. So she's knocking their health down maybe 1/10 of the way, plus there's a chance that she can get them to stop attacking for 2 seconds. In my opinion, if the stun had a higher percentage chance, I would think that this is the best tactic, this is the best buff, this is the best everything in the game. Now, I could go over every single ability with you guys, I could go over everything, but realistically, I think it's kind of a bit repetitive. What I'm going to say is, for anybody that's an attacker, focus on the top right and the top left. Anybody that's a defender, focus on the top right and bottom left. And then in special circumstances, like we have right here with Marshall, this is where it gets a bit tricky, because depending on what type of support you have, they may actually be better to upgrade their auto attack. But in Marshall's instance, it is the top right and bottom left. Again, these buffs are huge. After casting the skill, increases the attack of all team members by 13.5%. So again, he's increasing the attack of everybody on your squad, while simultaneously with his other passive, in battle, boosts this hero's skill cooldown speed by 26%. So that just means that this is going to be even faster. Reduce all damage taken by the unit with the highest attack. So in an example where your tank squad is your number 1 instance, Kimberly is my number 1 attacker on my tank squad. This is why I was saying earlier when it came to lineups that we have Kimberly on the outside. Because of his buff, where your best attacker gets an extra 10% worth of defense, having him in the back middle, keeping him alive, in turn means that you're keeping Kimberly alive longer as well. So having her not in the back middle will keep her alive the same amount of time it would if she was in the back middle, as long as Marshall is alive. Now, I do think it's important to put a lot of emphasis on these two in particular. I don't really care about the auto attack on him. I don't think it's horrible, but again, in Marshall's instance, these two are the best. Now, it's a bit trickier to talk about when it comes to tank, because McGregor's special abilities are a bit odd. So, for example, his Unyielding Heart, which is his debuff, prioritized taunting 2 front enemies, reducing their attack by 10.75% for 8 seconds with a cooldown of 10 seconds. While that is good, the whole problem with it is that his buff actually causes the enemies to focus on him. Now, that may not seem like a bad idea, but when everybody's focusing on just one hero, it tends to lead to him dying quicker, which again, in turn means that his buff isn't working as long and everybody else dies quicker. Because without your best defender, obviously, nobody else is going to stay alive. But regardless, I still do think it is important to upgrade your top right, your tactics, and your bottom left, your passive, over the auto attack. I know that this video wasn't very long, but they started to do the siding in my house, so it's been a few hours since I started the original recording, and now it's just been bits and pieces here and there that I've been able to record. And I do want to just say again, thank you all so much for your support. I hope that this helped answer any questions that you guys may have. I think most of it's pretty self-explanatory, or if it's not, I think I did a decent job. If you guys really want me to dive into every single skill and explain what the top 5 skills are, I can definitely do that. I just didn't want to make this video 40 minutes long for absolutely no reason at all. So once again, thank you all so much. It's Jelly out. Peace.